So I hope you all had a good Easter, and that's been and gone. And there's a few bunnies left and a few eggs, but the rest of it's all sold. And that's a testament to how successful the supermarket system is. I'm John, I'm a clinical nutritionist. Before this, I was in sales and marketing with a background in fast-moving consumer goods and quick service restaurants. So I know the commercial realities behind getting you to buy what they want you to buy. We don't live in stores that are nutrition systems. They don't go in and sell you your macronutrients and your micronutrients. Otherwise, the aisles would be like that, wouldn't they? There'd be a fat aisle, there'd be a protein aisle, there'd be a carbohydrate aisle, there'd be a magnesium aisle, and wouldn't that look wonderful? But it's just not set out like that. So the commercial reality is they're laid out because the store needs you to shop that way, because the store needs you to buy where it wants you to buy. And truth be told, if they were just selling fruit and vegetable and seafood and meat and fresh protein, they wouldn't survive. They need the pack of food in there. They need the rebates from the manufacturers to survive. And they need you to buy from it. But your metabolism doesn't need any of it. And so that's where the tension comes. And you, consumer, you go in, you're trying to do it on a budget, you're trying to, watch where you spend. But quite often, if you follow the path that the retailers set out for you, either in the store, the way they lay things out, or in the catalogues they're about to go through, then the illusion of saving and the illusion of value is going to lead you where they want you to go, not where your metabolism needs you to go. And that's why I'm here, to navigate the noise. And this week, the specials are considerably less. They are in there, but they're not in there en masse like they were on Easter. And why is that? Well, back to the commercial realities. There were a lot of specials to get you to go into store and give you a reason to spend a bit more, because they knew you were going to spend for that Easter occasion. But now that spend has to come back, and it has to be wound back to average out the commercial spend for the year. And this is a catalogue series that is quite bare in specials. And there are specials in there, but when you look at them, as I'm looking now, and you look at Woolworths, it's half price. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's everything in packets. And then the other thing that they're doing a good job of is everyday low price, because that's parking out the catalogue space, and they don't need to spend. They're just alerting you to the value that may exist. I say may exist every day of the week. And other mechanics like free cookware credits in Woolworths, in Coles, double credits for KitchenAid. But when you consider what do you need to buy for your family, what's going to fill you for dinner, it's a tricky path. We have Coles trying to sell you delicious dinner in 20 minutes thanks to Barilla, and that'll be a sponsored post. But the thing about pasta, it's not the anchor of a meal. The anchor's in the protein. So it's not really selling you a metabolically healthy dinner. It's trying to sell you a carb-loaded dinner. And even in the serving suggestion, the pasta is way out dosing the protein. Of course it is, because the pasta person's paying for it. But the supermarkets like you buying pasta. They like you buying pasta because you have to buy the sauce, don't you? You have to buy the cheese, you have to buy the protein, you have to build a basket around it. And so Easter is a time of relaxation with friends, and you're looking for easy solutions. And that's what they're trying to cater to. Whether it's the Lantern Alley, gateway to flavour in Woolworths, with news, a word used in marketing and advertising because it invites trial. You'll always try something once. But the trouble is with these easy sauce kits is they're laden with additional ingredients. And that's where it can become a little bit tricky and overcomplicate your nutrition in the guise of this is going to save you time. Let me take olive oil, lemon, salt and pepper. They're quite common ingredients that you might have in your cupboard, extra virgin olive oil that is, or simply some butter and maybe some mixed herbs, very simple ingredients that can also add flavour. And without getting in a lesson on biomedical science or food technology, is the problem when it's in the product on the shelf. They need emulsifiers, multidextrins, stabilizers, so that flavor is carried evenly in the product and not clumped. But your biology doesn't understand that. They're not things that your biology was designed to consume. You're consuming them in addition to the in Woolworths, and there's in ALDI and Coles as well. But in Woolworths this week they're selling you dinner made easy. It's a barbecue boneless butterfly Greek style chicken, $11 a kilo. Yeah, good price. Looks good, but again, it's laden with that extra ingredients. Now, is it terrible? Well, it's not terrible, but I've looked into it. It's probably on par with the takeaway chicken. It has a medium sodium content, not as high as a Red Rooster chicken. I think it's a bit less than the barbecue chicken from Coles and Woolworths, which are heavy in sodium. But it's not as clean as what you would cook yourself, as I said before, with some lemon, with some salt and pepper, some extra virgin olive oil. You might use some fresh garlic. You do have to do something, but it's you're controlling the amount of it. And typically with flavor enhancers, there's salt, oil, and sugar, and they're to excess. Okay for sometimes, but if you're shopping in these convenience categories every week, like they're marketing to you every week, that's where you get caught out, because you think, oh, I'm eating healthy, but extra sodium, are you bloating? Extra sodium leads to water retention, amongst other things. Over time, it adds to, blood pressure and hypertension, but it's not something you need. Again, dinner made easy. The barbecue hot roast chicken, it's not ideal, but it's a convenience meal. And there's other convenience is being sold in both Coles and Woolworths this week, and it's in terms of Mexican. Is this providing value for you? If so, I'd ask you if you could please like and subscribe for further updates. And then next week, my review will be in your channels. I navigate the noise because once I was a busy adult, stuck in the day-to-day of prioritizing my career, my family, and not my health. And then one day I woke up and I realized my body wasn't behaving like it used to. Shortcut to today, I've studied clinical nutrition at university, and now I help busy adults navigate that noise and to find their true health. So please do give us a like. It doesn't cost anything. It just helps me, helps the channel, and helps me encourage more content like this for you. Back to the video. Taco night favorites. Cholula, Cholula, was a company actually from Mexico that McCormick Spice Company's bought. And it's new to Australia, though not new, a new product. And they've got their taco mix there. They've got some salsa and they've got some hot sauce. And then again, the seasoning. I go back to it. Is it full of additives? Well, not as much as some. If you look at the old El Paso or the ALDI equivalent, they're heavy with anti-caking agents, multidextrin, emulsifiers. This is less so. It has less additives, but it's still additive. What could you do yourself? You could use a mix of cumin, paprika, and spice mixes directly without those added emulsifiers that are there because it's pre-mixed. You could do it yourself. Indeed, the salsa actually has a reasonably high amount of tomato, which is quite in the category. But again, there's ways that you could do salsa, yourself with, garlic, tomato, onion, and make it yourself. But in terms of a quick, easy, yes, it is. And again, if this is your default to use the packets directly, that's when you can get caught out. The new sauces, Mingle everything dressing, made with avocado oil, which is a good oil. No nasties on the front there. $4.80 instead of $6.95. It's got less. Mingle generally have less additives in it. but it is still prepared in terms of as opposed to you putting some avocado oil on yourself, and that's all you're putting on. The other thing is it's quite expensive. So there's 220 grams of dressing in there, and it's in a squeeze. So what do you do when you use the squeeze? You generally squeeze it, and it's less portion control is where I'm getting to. So it's $4.80 in the moment for 220 grams of sauce. That's quite expensive. In Coles, in the middle towards the catalogue, there's pork chops with mustard and mushroom sauce, which it looks delicious and divine. And then you think about, well, it contains mustard and it contains mushroom. That must be relatively straightforward and less additives. And you look in the ingredients, which I have, and you click there for the recipe. Well, brown sugar is one of the main ingredients. Not sure you should. Well, I'm definitely sure you shouldn't be adding, sugar to your protein, spiking your insulin, especially at the end of the day when you're less tolerant of a glycemic response. And the other thing is the actual mushroom sauce isn't coming from mushrooms. It's coming from, surprise, surprise, a mushroom sauce that Coles wants to sell you for that dinner. Again, they're not nutrition centres. The aisles aren't set up for macro and micronutrients. They're set up to sell you what's commercially valuable for them. And what's seemingly an innocent sort of recipe that you'll buy isn't that much different than buying something pre-prepared. And what else could you use? Am I being negative? It's too hard. You've got time pressures. You need solutions for your family. Well, here's a tip. Apples in the season, and in fact, throughout all three supermarkets, they're on special, or at least advertised at everyday low price. A simple apple sauce recipe with your pork. Stewed apples or cooked apples or boiled apples, some cinnamon, a little bit of a touch of salt, and then is it nutmeg? I'll find it and provide a guidance on that. But yeah, there are simple alternatives versus what they're trying to sell you to suit their commercial interests in the illusion of we're going to save you time. And then the other thing is, which isn't in any of the catalogues, beef is very low this week compared to other weeks. 100 grams of premium mince, 150 grams of lean mince that Coles and Woolworths sell. Approximately getting 16 to 18 grams in the ALDI product, but you're getting above 30, I think it's 32 in the lean mince. So how does that happen? Well, it's less fat. So it's less fat and higher protein concentration. That's interesting. So chasing budget is an easy way to discount your health. And I almost forgot, there's this hero page with 10 extra points when you boost and shop participating yogurt, custard and chilled desserts. Oh, look, value. Open your consideration set now. And then we've got a page full of yogurt, but up the top we've clearly got something that's not yogurt. We've got new, inviting you to try, dairy milk chocolate desserts. Caramilk. And Cadbury dairy milk chocolate. So they're mousses. They've got no business being in the health halo. They're not even advertised as high protein, right? They're sort of on the edge of the wicked sister high protein, which does have the added benefit of high protein. It's still a dairy dessert. And navigating down through the health halos, gee, it gets confusing, doesn't it? Well, you've got the thick and creamy dairy farmers. That's full of additives, so it can stay at half price on the shelf. Front and centre, you've got the Pro Perform YoPro at 20 grams of protein. Good amount of protein. But you're paying $1.71 per 100 grams. So you're certainly paying for it and paying for convenience. And that's the thing with the yogurt, full disclosure is to sell dairy, with the yogurts that in a bulk tub, you're going to get the lowest price per kilo. It's less convenient versus a individual portion control or a pouch. But the thing is, when you've got a flavour inside it, Yes, you've got a flavour, but it's not really the fruit. It doesn't have the fibre in it, so you're not getting the benefit of the fibre, which you can in a plain yogurt. And adding fruit yourself, you're getting the fibre as well. Why do you want fibre and protein? Well, that builds satiety. That builds, that lasting longer. You're feeling fuller for longer, so you can make it to dinner or make it to the next meal occasion rather than looking for a packet of something else that was half price that they sold you. Then you've got the Chobani Fit there. I suppose that's the middle ground. That's still $1.50 per 100 grams. What should you pay? Well, if I go to one of my go-tos, which is Chobani Natural Greek plain, per 100 grams, it's 87 cents per 100 grams. So what's that? We're paying almost double here for the convenience. Interesting, you've got the Activia. It's saying probiotic for gut health. Well, gee, yogurts do have probiotic in it. So when I look further into it, the marketing claims says, yes, it has exclusive. Look out. Probiotics bifidus acto regalis, proven to survive the journey of the gastrointestinal tract, and it goes on and on and on. But the thing about probiotics is there is so many, and what you need is generally personalized nutrition rather than one brand or one type of strain. They do very different things and perform at very different stages of your gastrointestinal health. It is claiming a study. I haven't looked down further into it, but what I have looked into is the nutritional contents. You've still got, it does say no added sugar, but you've got 6.8 grams of sugar in that serve. And dietary fibre, as I said to you, is not in it. It's 0.3 grams. There's nothing in it. And what you are getting in there is, sweeteners, lemon pulp. What else are we getting? Interesting, lactase. So it's actually lactose free. So yes, it does has added benefit, but it's not to say that you should be buying that above all other yogurts per se. And certainly it is half price this week. Let me go back to the Woolworths catalogue. It's 85 cents per 100 grams. So it is at half price. It's at that bulk price per 100 grams. So it is a chance to try it. But again, a plain Greek with minimal ingredients yogurt with fruit in is going to be better for you in the long term. So don't be under the illusion that that's the only yogurt in the yogurt aisle that's going to be good for your gut health. And then next door to it, you have that looks a bit sweet. And well, that's because it is, because I would call that a dessert disguised as yogurt in the Gippsland Twist yogurt range. And then again, dessert disguised as yogurt, you've got the Chobani. It's fit, but it's got chocolate in it. Well, it's more a dessert, isn't it? And then down the bottom, you've got the yogurt varieties, Yoplait yogurt. You've got additives in there. And the Greek set yogurt, 69 cents per 100 is a good price. But it's got much less protein versus a Chobani or versus even a Woolworths, a Coles, or an ALDI high protein Greek yogurt. So that's my spin on the high protein yogurt claims dairy dessert category this week. I'll segue now to my shopping guide. So the Real Life Nutrition with John shopping guide. That considers your budget, but also considers your metabolic health and helps you choose from that. It's segmented into budget, fresh meat and seafoods, in midpoint and in premium. I also give you a guide of how to shop that throughout the week, because you shouldn't eat the same thing every day of the week, and you should mix up those proteins. Red meat shouldn't be every day. Should be 3 to 4 times a week. And seafood has a role in there, especially or small oily fish. Salmon and trout are high on that index because they've got a great amount of omega-3. And you should be having a good dose of those omega-3s 2 to 3 times a week. And there are other sources, of course, and that's in the guide. It's going to alert you to where the specials lie. It's also going to alert you where the everyday low prices in ALDI that you should consider this week. But it's also going to put a nutrition lens on it. And some of the things that you should buy this week aren't on special because we're on a low special week after the highs of the ALDI week. But that's my role here. I'm navigating the noise for you. Going blind, going hungry, you're going to come out with lots of products that might fool you for a little bit, like the pasta, then leads you to a nice insulin crash looking around for some of that packet food you bought that was half price. that you shouldn't be eating before bed when you're resting and arresting your digestion. But stay strong. Don't shop the aisles. Don't blindly shop the specials. Go in with a plan. Buy with intention, not impulse. And that's how you're going to get nutrition on the end of your fork. I'll see you next week.